Bhagavad Gita before the trilogy, the Krishna trilogy that we got in Winnipeg. Srila Prabhupada had the first printing of the Krishna book in 3 little volumes, volume 1, 2, 3, pocket books in a sleeve.
Light blue, right?
Light blue, yes. We picked it up in a head shop in Winnipeg.
That's 1970.
Yes. C'est imprimé 70. Bhagavad Gita was first. Then after that, we saw Krishna in the form of this Krishna book from the store we went to in Winnipeg. Long time ago. 1972. Three. So I just I think it's such a beautiful description that we've all heard, that we should hear again. From the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 1st chapter, 4th verse. Srila Prabhupada quotes, Nibritta tarshairupaviyamanad Bravo sadat srotra manu bhiramat Ka utama shloka gunanuvadat Uman virajeta vinapashunat. In these Western countries, when someone sees the cover of a book like Krishna, he immediately asks, who is Krishna? And who is the girl with Krishna? That's an often, on demande souvent la question quand on voit un livre de Krishna, surtout ce livre de Krishna, qui est Radha et Krishna. Qui est Krishna? Et deuxième question, qui est la fille avec Krishna? The immediate answer is that Krishna is
Supreme Personality of God.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How is that? Comment est-il la personne suprême? Because he conforms in exact detail to descriptions of the Supreme Being, the Godhead. In other words, Krishna is the Godhead. Because he is, why would he be considered the Godhead? Because he is Lalita? Come on, you remember. Yes. You don't? Kalindi. Remember? Ils sont gênés, hein? They're shy. Because he is all attractive. And why is Krishna all attractive? Gentlemen in the back here, friends of Surya Prabhu. Anybody would like to just, why would you say Krishna is considered, or God is that supreme absolute being? Why? Kesava?
Aishvaryasya samadhyasya Viyasya yashashasya Jnana vairagyam Upvaibam. Last one. Yoshaiva. So, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he possesses all six opulences in full. The 6 opulences are...
Okay. Give me one of those 6 opulences that God possesses in full. In full.
Beautiful.
One.
All beautiful.
Beauty. 2. Okay. Renunciation. That usually is on la met en dernier celle-là, mais c'est bon quand même. Opulence. Wealth.
Fame.
Another one.
Strength.
I just heard fame. Fame.
Power.
Power.
Knowledge.
Began. Knowledge. So, Krishna, God, is he who possesses all opulences in full. And Srila Prabhupada describes it very nicely. Écoutez, c'est correct si je l'ai en anglais? In other words, outside the principle of all attraction, there is no meaning to the word Godhead. How is it one can be all attractive? First of all, if one is very wealthy, okay, popular in the news today, he's very wealthy. Donald Trump. That wonderful lowlife. Good. So, why are we hearing about him? Because of his wealth. He is wealthy. If he has great riches, Prabhupada says, he becomes attractive to the people in general. That's a very, very simple to understand. Similarly, if someone is very powerful, he also becomes attractive. Who do we know that is someone that would be considered powerful today? They're very insignificant compared to Kamsa and Ravana. Powerful beings described in the Vedic literatures. Bruce Lee, who's dead, but it's okay. He's somewhere in the Lord's creation, hopefully evolving. And hopefully he got some prasadam from some Vaishnava somewhere on the planet. Yeah? So, similarly, if someone is very famous, and that we know, that we could name so many famous people, he also becomes attractive. And if someone is very beautiful, or wise, we hear of Einstein, we hear of Einstein. Maybe some more wise men. Who are other wise men?
Stephen Hawking.
Plato, Socrates, you know.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen. Okay, I guess so. In material standards, in Kali Yuga standards, yes. Similarly, he also, and if someone is beautiful or wise or unattached to all kinds of possessions, that is also an attraction. That's why Mahabharata mentioned renounced, renoncé. Even though he possesses, Krishna, God, possesses all wealth, all beauty, all fame, all power, all knowledge, he doesn't need any. He's totally detached, renounced. Right? That is a very attractive feature. It is known in India that sometimes the sannyasi becomes very attractive. Why? Because he's supposed to be renounced. Right? No attraction to material sense gratification, material enjoyment of any kind. Totally focused on meditating on the Absolute, on God, on Krishna. Right? And engaged in the service. 100%. So from practical experience, we can observe that one is attractive due to wealth, power, fame, beauty, wisdom, and renunciation. One who is in possession of all 6 of these opulences at the same time, who possesses them to an unlimited degree, no limit. In the material world, the so-called famous or the so-called wealthy or the so-called powerful, there's always someone wealthier or more powerful, just like those who were these adept, the UFC, and then you got this great fighter, but that great fighter sooner or later is no longer the greatest fighter. There's always someone better. There's someone stronger, someone more wealthy. Trump may have 2-3 billion, but then there are others who have 20, 30, 40, 50 billion. So, in this way, these opulences of the Godhead are delineated by Parashara Muni, a great Vedic authority. We have seen many rich persons, many powerful persons, many famous persons, many beautiful persons, many learned and scholarly persons, and persons in the renounced order of life unattached to material possessions. But we have never seen any one person who is unlimitedly and simultaneously wealthy, powerful, famous, beautiful, wise, and unattached. Like Krishna. In the history of humanity. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is an historical person who appeared on this earth 5,000 years ago. He stayed on this earth for how long? In earth years. How many years?
125.
125, exactly. A margin. He's a retired, absorbed in Krishna's Leela all the time. He's so fortunate. So, and played exactly like a human being. But his activities were unparalleled. From the very moment of his appearance to the moment of his disappearance, Every one of his activities is unparalleled in the history of the world. And therefore, anyone who knows what we mean by Godhead will accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to the Godhead, and no one is greater than him. That is the import of the familiar saying,
God is great.
God is great. You remember that, eh? Ramananda almost memorized the Krishna book, reading it to his kids. There are various classes of men in the world who speak of God in different ways, but according to Vedic literatures and according to the great acharyas, the authorized persons, versed in the knowledge of God in all ages, acharyas like Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhva, Vishnu Swami, Lord Chaitanya, and all their followers by disciplic succession, all unanimously agree that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. As far as we, the followers of Vedic civilization, are concerned, we accept the Vedic history of the whole universe, which consists of different planetary systems called Svargalokas, or the higher planetary system, Martyalokas, or the intermediary planetary system, and what are the lower planetary systems called?
Narkaloka.
Pathology.
Yes, same. Pathology. Or the lower planetary system. The modern historians of this earth cannot supply historical evidences of events that occurred before 5,000 years ago. And the anthropologists say that 40,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had not appeared on this planet because evolution had not reached that point. So they claim, il y a 40 000 ans, qu'il n'y avait pas d'être humain sur la planète, dans l'univers, dans cette création. But the Vedic histories, the Puranas, Mahabharata, relate human histories which extend millions and billions of years into the past. From these literatures, we are given the histories of Krishna's appearances and disappearances millions and billions of years ago. In the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, what does he tell Arjuna? What does Krishna tell Arjuna in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita? He tells him that he and Arjuna both have had many births. That one. You know what? You don't know that one? Oh, okay.
They know that.
Lalita knows it. Okay, go ahead. No, the English. Nice and loud, Lalita, please.
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you nor all of these.
No, well, that's not quite that one. That one is not Vivaham Jatu Nasam. That one you guys know. Not Ragarani, Vairadi. You want to quote that other one? You want to talk what's talking about?
I'm afraid I don't know it.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
Okay, I know the English, okay?
Okay.
Many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember them all, but you cannot.
But you cannot. I can remember them all, Krishna says, but you cannot. But that other verse that Lalita mentioned, which is the English, never was there a time. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So that means we are eternal. God is eternal, and we, as part of Him, of God, are also eternal. So regardless of what happens to this material body, which we know, and those of us who don't, are finding out right now that we are not eternal. This body is not eternal. But the living being spark within the body, Atma, the soul, that is eternal. And when Krishna refers to you, both you and I, of course Krishna never has a material form, a material body. That's why in India it is very common, the Mayavad interpretation of the Shastra, the impersonal aspect of the Absolute is considered superior. Why? Because they cannot understand how God can have a form. Because we can only relate to our form, which is temporary. Yeah? And it perishes from boyhood to youth to old age. Huh? And then again, a new body at the time of death. That change of body is continuously there. But Krishna's body and our body, Krishna's body is eternal. It's ever existing. Undying. Primeval. Etc. etc. So this illustrates the difference between the knowledge of Krishna and that of Arjuna. Arjuna might have been a very great warrior, a well-cultured member of the Kuru dynasty, but after all, he was an ordinary human being, whereas Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the possessor of unlimited knowledge because he possesses unlimited knowledge. Krishna has a memory that is boundless. So there's a lot more, but we don't have the time. But so I want to read to you one other little section. In the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this science of Krishna consciousness is called the Rajavidya, king of knowledge. Rajavidya, the king of all confidential things, and the supreme science of transcendental realization. Yet, we can directly experience the results of this science of Krishna consciousness because it is very easy to practice and it is very pleasurable. Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavidram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Chushukam Kartumani, which means it's joyfully performed. It's actually a joyful process. And we are so blessed and so fortunate, however miserable our existence may be right now in this body, at this particular time, place, and circumstance. There are so many difficulties, so many challenges, so many obstacles. And whether you're young or old, who is not suffering from disease? Are you better now? Are you free of that? So Keshava just went through it, and then Premanjali was just sick, and then Prahlad was just sick, and everybody is getting sick and getting headaches and migraines and this thing and that. However, we try to avoid the miseries, they are there. So inevitably, to rise above all that and to assist us in understanding who we are and our eternal spiritual nature, Krishna has come in Kali Yuga. Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam Sangopankashtraparsadam Yagyai Sankirtanakaya Yajantihi Sumedasaha. That Krishna has appeared, and not in his blackish sham, darkish bluish color, but in the golden avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he has come to propagate the Sankirtan movement, and he personally engaged in that lila, personally, Krishna. But Krishna is unlimited, so God is not restrained or restricted to one particular form or pastime, but he has unlimited forms and unlimited pastimes going on simultaneously. That is God. That is Krishna. And he has appeared in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us how we can rise above all of these dualities and these difficulties and these tribulations and suffering in this material world and really attain the highest level of understanding of the absolute truth by chanting the holy name. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, kalo nasyeva, 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 gatiranata. On revient toujours à la même chose, parce qu'il n'y a rien d'autre. I was listening to Hamsaduda last night, Nandi Mémoire de Srila Prabhupada. Très bon en passant. You all have YouTube memories, Hamsaduda, big beard, very nice, had an amazing association with Srila Prabhupada. Beaucoup de belles histoires, mais sans motif personnel, sans ego. On dirait qu'il ne mélange pas trop l'ego là-dedans, puis son interprétation de ce qui s'est passé. Voici ce qui s'est passé. It was Ishka Srila Prabhupada. You know, he doesn't interpret or change or adulterate the events that happened with Srila Prabhupada. He just tells it like it is. And I think it's very, very nice. And what he said, what did he say? Where was I going? Do you know?
Is it what you just said to me?
Huh?
Was it the one you just told me?
No, not the one that I told you.
Well, there's nothing else but chanting the holy name, after all.
About the book?
Yeah, about the books. Yet Srila Prabhupada asked Hansadutta Prabhu, who was very dedicated to printing books in German and so many other things, he said, why did I write these books? He asked the question. And what did Hansadutta reply?
To learn the philosophy.
To learn the philosophy. It's a logical reply, but Srila Prabhupada said no. I have written these books to convince you to chant Hare Krishna. To convince you to chant Hare Krishna. So the ultimate result of our understanding the philosophy is to take up the process of chanting. Chanting is very important. So we have been blessed in this Kali Yuga. Srila Prabhupada sacrificed so much to spend. He used to, if you want an idea of his schedule, he would continuously, throughout the day, from morning to evening, meeting people, writing people, discussing management of hundreds of temples worldwide and so many other things. But by that time, and then in the evening, he'd have evening darshan after the arti and everything. And then at 10:30 he would take rest, and at 12:30 he would wake up and start translating the books. 2 hours of rest. Rest, not unconscious sleep. The pure devotee never forgets Krishna. And there's no such thing as sleep in the mode of tamaguna, or the mode of ignorance, or passion, or goodness for that matter. He is always transcendently situated. That's something we must remember. This is inconceivable to us, but this is the way it is. That is spiritual energy. And Krishna spoke through him, all these books. So we have the books, and we try to understand, and from the understanding, we develop our faith and our determination to chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare